Four things to like about the Super Training Extreme X knee sleeves is number one, these are IPF, USAPL, and USPA approved. Now that is good news if you are a competitive powerlifter and you want to wear these in training and to compete in. You don't have to really worry about having two different sleeves or if they're competition approved. These are good to go. The second thing I like about these knee sleeves is the 7mm neoprene. That is a very firm neoprene rating, and when it comes to thickness, these kind of fit the money for like perfect comfort, but also providing enough support when under heavy weight. Now on Super Training's site, they say that these sleeves can add roughly 30 to 60 pounds on your squat. Now that's obviously going to vary on you and your individual strength levels, but it is something to keep in mind, and that stems from a lot of the 7mm neoprene used in these sleeves and also just the overall thickness and stiffness of them. The third thing I like about them is just their overall durability. These are a 2-panel knee sleeves, so they have seams going down each side, 2 separate panels connect, and overall the stitching is pretty durable and it has enough overlap, I think, to resist any early fraying. So I do think these are gonna last for a while. And my fourth pro with these knee sleeves is the non-slip grip tech. Now, some knee sleeves can be prone to sliding down, especially if you're wearing them for longer durations of training. These knee sleeves do a pretty good job at staying up on the leg. You don't really have to adjust them a lot in between sets. And now that is gonna be very determined on the sizing you get based on the circumference of your knee. So if you nail the sizing, I think you're not gonna have any issues with slipping of these sleeves. All right, so when it comes to cons for these knee sleeves, I don't really have any glaring issues with them. You can wear them to compete in. Their overall construction is pretty solid. And when it comes to their price, they're around $85. Now, obviously, if you're not a competitive powerlifter, that might be a little bit pricey than your more standard budget-friendly sleeve. However, I think the price can be justified if you do compete and if you do want a very supportive and sturdy knee sleeve. So again, when it comes to cons, I don't really have too many bashes on these knee sleeves. So I briefly touched on this in the cons, but when it comes to price for these knee sleeves, you can expect to pay around $85. Now, if you are a competitive strength athlete or you take your training seriously, I think that price is justified. They're durable, they have a thicker 7mm neoprene, and they are competition approved. If you look at other bigger brand sleeves that are competition approved, you're gonna be paying around the same price for those sleeves. So again, the price I think is pretty fair. All right, so now let's chat performance of these knee sleeves. So admittedly, I have yet to compete in these sleeves. Normally when I compete, I wear SBD knee sleeves. I do plan to wear these in the back half of 2020. My next meet is in a month and I'm sticking with what I know, which are the SBDs, but I have squatted some pretty heavy doubles in these and worked up to some decently heavy singles. So I will share my thoughts on how these performed in my squat workouts. Now, on the Super Training site, they note that these sleeves can provide 30 to 60 pounds of extra pop out of the hole and extra weight. Now, again, I think that's gonna be highly variable based on multiple factors, but I did notice that coming out of the hole, I could probably add like 20 to 30 pounds with these sleeves just due to the stability that they provide and allow me to keep my position throughout the squat itself. And I think that has to do with the thicker 7mm neoprene and that front and back panel design along with the reinforced side stitching. Overall, I thought these were incredibly supportive and I like that I don't have to adjust them a lot throughout my workouts. If you get the sizing right, I think this is a sleeve you can wear for a full squat workout if you like to wear your sleeves the whole time and not have to adjust or pull them down and up based on what you prefer. So if you are looking for a decently comfortable sleeve, I think if you nail the sizing right with this pair, you're gonna be pretty on the money with wearing them for longer durations and getting a lot of support in doing so. All right, so now let's talk sizing and fit of these knee sleeves and kind of some basic recommendations or suggestions for how you should size yours. One bummer about these knee sleeves is that my knee is like an awkward in-betweener size. So a medium is designed to fit a 14.25 to 15 inch circumference around the knee, while the large sits at 15.25 to 16 inches. Looking at my knee, we hit right around like 15 to 15.25 inches. Now, what size did I go with and how have they been feeling? I went with a large knee sleeve, and the rationale behind it doing so is that one, I plan to put on weight later this year, but also I wanted to really test these in training and see how they lasted for longer durations. I'll go with the size down if I need to when it comes to comp, but my basis is on a large and how it fits for the workout. So pulling them up here, talking quickly about the construction and just the overall feel and how these are actually positioned. Overall, fit pretty well. They don't really slide at all. We have that reinforced lateral and medial stitching on each side. And as you can see, we have those two different panels. The front panel here has a little bit of Super Training branding and that X. The back is fully black. Overall, large I think is fitting the money right now. Now, when I do compete, I may go medium if I want a really tighter fit. And honestly, that might give me a couple more poundages out of the hole. But I would say go true to size based on the sizing recommendations, which you can find on their site, and how you measure the circumference of your knee. If you're like me and in betweener size, maybe go tighter if you are planning on competing in them, but if you're just planning on wearing them to train in and having them on for longer durations, going a size up may not be a bad idea. And that concludes my review of the Super Training Extreme X knee sleeves. Now when it comes to competitive knee sleeves, I really like this pair and I'm stoked to actually try them out in competition later this year. Hopefully this review gave you some indication on if these sleeves are right for you. If you want more information, check out the description below or visit our best knee sleeves roundup.